We tend to take everything we have for granted. We are never happy with what we have. I'll tell two different stories. One from a country that is smaller than Portugal, not as stable, unfortunately, as Portugal, and another than Portugal. So one country is Lebanon, very interesting country, very diverse, 21 religions, very complex to manage, obviously. And one of the countries I'm working, and we did recently with the regulator, which is a very smart new regulator. They are still in the stage of privatization, improvement, etc. And we did a panel on demand. And I was astonished by what a small company said. It's a very small company. They spent 5,000 hours just uploading and downloading software. Because what we have here, and that we think it's not yet, they don't have that. So it's not real broadband.
No.
I'll give you an example. There was a presentation on Flash. It has to be done in New York. It was produced in Beirut. And for this presentation to be sent to New York, it should be uploaded. But in fact, they decide to put one person on a plane, and this person arrived first in New York, then the application. So you can see how
He got to New York before the application got there.
Yeah. So
Did his bags get there? No.
the bags, it was only a CD. So. Broadband is really important. And we here in Portugal, I think we are fortunate that things are improving. But many countries are lagging behind because of lack of broadband. But now, let's speak about Portugal. I just arrived yesterday from Doha, Qatar, which is a very fast-growing country and very rich. And as I was arriving at my home in the beautiful city of Porto, I was trying to send a 30 megabyte email. And I was waiting to send easy email. And it was after 35 minutes, I was in a hurry because I had to take the train to Lisbon. So because I'm adopting low carbon policies, I decided to take the train. And not to lose the train, I decided to shut off my PC because the 35 megabyte email was not able to be sent in 35 minutes. So I arrived in Lisbon.
You need to write shorter emails.
I stayed in this hotel. As I arrived in my home, in my room, I log in. I sent email in 3 minutes. So just to say how much broadband is really important. You see in Japan, people from Tokyo being able to deliver telemedicine, very sophisticated services to rural areas because they have 10 million people living fiber to the home. We are seeing in Korea people having very sophisticated e-government, m-government, e-learning applications just because they have symmetric broadband.
To say nothing of new forms of entertainment and gaming.
We are discussing all these things, and you are both lawyers and people like this. It's very funny, but in fact, what we are trying to have here in Portugal is it's something that will unleash innovation and unleash new applications that will unleash social innovation. So I know everything is very complex. All these fights are very funny, very interesting, very entertaining. And the regulation is done by a very smart economist, and mostly they come from academia. They live in a very perfect world, which we believe every world should be perfect. But in the end of the day, we as citizens or companies, we really need and we really like to have this kind of application. So the question is when and how, because it's going to happen. But those countries that are going to do this faster, they will get an edge. And don't speak about UK because I live in London. I mean, level broadband there is not so.
Wow, I was at a conference in the UK several weeks ago.
Can be a very perfect regulator, but in the end of the day, I mean, they are discussing, and the next month it's going to be a big conference in London, organized by the British Broadband Stakeholder Group about this because they also think they are lagging behind, and they are. That's why the UK government just appointed Francesco Caio to do a report on.
Well, I heard someone in public
because
say.
if UK wants to be a leading G8 country, it is not.
No,
It is not.
I heard an official.
And even with 600 pages of regulation.
I heard an official say in the UK a couple weeks ago, I don't know why a British household needs more than 3 megabits per second.
Actually,
That's the kind of visionary that we don't need, who doesn't understand the potential. So I think some of the work that we have to do is do a better job of painting the picture of what the 50 megabits or 100 megabits could mean.
Actually, the Minister of Industry, Mr. Tim, has been very concerned about the situation. It was around November last year. So together with the broadband stakeholders group, he has been trying to boost this effort, and after long discussions, they decided to boost the rollout of NGN early January this year in a specific region of which the name I forgot. But I mean, it has been a pilot test actually. So they are still at the very beginning of this experience. So I think that maybe there are investments, but there is still a long way to go.
Yeah.
So.
Just to explain the figure, I mean, no regulator is that. If you look throughout Europe, you will have a regulator who are excelling something and not another. But even in the UK, there are problems. But you must consider the situation country by country. In the UK, for instance, you have a big satellite penetration, which is a big thing for consumer, but it's a problem for telecom operator, because if you want to invest in fibers, but the people are already used to get movies from the satellite, it will be more difficult to make a business case. If for some reason, and that there was a weakness for the UK regulator, unbundling was not there for a long time, and only now started massively, thanks to factor separation. Now you will have unbundling, and later you will have fibers. So even in the UK, you have things which don't work, and they have to follow a given time scale. But what I want to say is that you must keep flexibility of the framework to target country by country the problem, and give to each regulator sufficient powers to address those issues. So asking Brussels to make a general rule and say you must deregulate or regulate something doesn't make any sense.
In a sense, I will just make a comment. UK now is looking for France, Paris specifically. And what's happening in Paris, it's mostly because there was an alternative telco that decided to roll out fiber, and that triggered incumbents to do the same. So we have now France that was lagging behind and is now second in the OECD in terms of faster connectivity and lower prices. So, and that has nothing to do with regulation. That has to do with market-driven investment, and that has to do with decisions made by the market.
No, I disagree with you, because if you look at with France, you have seen how regulation has evolved. In France, you had at the beginning a very strong history offer, cost-oriented, which allow operator to enter the market and to interconnect at different level of the incumbent network. Then the regulator said clearly to all the operators, listen, I will not leave you blistering forever. They made a good unbundling offer. They made a very good migration process.